Hi, this is Cousin Russ. As promised, I'm going to repeat the test that I did before I did the update, and that's using the Webmerge feature to see if it works as it was advertised. And please know that my personal opinions will be part of this conversation. Um, this is the first feature that I wished I had not updated, but I know how to deal with it, and I will explain that as I go. So this is a post update bringing Family Tree Maker 2014 up to the current version, which is 22.0.0.1404 for whatever that's worth. Okay, I'm going to go to Family Tree Maker. This is the file same file that I worked on before, and I just show you the help menu to show you that. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see that I am updated to 1404, which is the patched version, and so that is my current version. And I'm going to go to the people workspace, William G. or Gray Hart, which is the same person that I used before. It does not have a shaky leaf, but I'm not going to worry about that because I'm going to search for him to see if I can find that 1900 census record. I go to the the search web search um, workspace, and there is the 1900 federal census for William. It has the same family, so this is the same record that I used before. So I will be able to demonstrate the differences between the pre-patch and the current patch. So I'm going to click merge, and I go through many other steps in a web merge for census records, and I've had blog posts about that before. I'm not going to go into that detail. I'm just going to focus on the change that I see with this feature. I'm clicking merge, and here is the first view of the major change in this feature. You'll notice that everything down the right hand side is discard. As I chose, as I showed you before, they were all alternative facts before. I'm not going to panic. I'm just going to tell and explain how I handle this web merge. And I always recommend that you look at these screens very, very carefully and make the choice that you want to make. You may have different requirements in your file than I do. This is my personal opinion and how I handle this situation. Bottom line here, if you click on a citation, that you will see what I saw. In this case, in my database, I have it William Gray Hart, and I have two sources documenting that. And the ancestry side wants to discard the fact that his name on the record is William Hart. It's going to keep the source. That's good. But it's going to discard the name William Hart. So, but I'm going to change that because I have that option. I'm glad they kept the option for me. I'm going to click on that, and it's going to give me the option to be alternative. I want that. I want to, if you look at the census record, I want you to come back and go to the census record and see exactly what I saw. Again, as I pointed out before, I have his full birth date. I don't have that he was born in Pennsylvania, which is what Ancestry tells me, which is good. It's a good thing. In the 1900 census, the birth included the month and the year. As I pointed out in the before, that I have conflicting information um, that I have to deal with. If I accepted the discard, it would not be obvious to me that I have conflicting information. Even if I made this my preferred fact, I'm going to be missing something that I also already have in other sources. So I don't want, I'm going to keep my preferred fact. I've got to deal with the conflicting information, which is what I will do. But if I discard this information that's coming in from Ancestry, I won't know that I have conflicting information. So I'm going to select alternate fact. So I have some conflicting information that I will have to resolve after I do the merge. Again, the next line down says residence. If I discard, I won't know where he lived or his whole household was in 1900. It is offering the discard option. Sorry, I'm not going to accept your offer there. Birth is the full birth in Pennsylvania. Again, I will clean up my database afterwards. I'm not going to discard it because this is information that I didn't have. I will clean this particular fact up post merge. I'm going to click next. And as before, I'm going to add the parents because I didn't have them before and I know they were born in Pennsylvania. So I know I got the right person. And I'm going to merge. I'm going to merge the existing spouse in my tree to what's coming in from Ancestry. And the next screen, I've got to again go back and make my choice. And I'm going to be very consistent about my choice. I'm going to make that the alternate fact. I'm going to make the birth alternate because it's adding that she was born in Pennsylvania. I did not know that. This is the first time I have a residence fact for her. So it's preferred and that's cool. I can live with that. It's born in Pennsylvania. I will deal with that later. And as before, I have a marriage fact, which I didn't have before. And we zoom out just a little bit. So I didn't have that before and that's preferred, which is great. So I'm going to go with Edward. I'm going to merge Edward G and Edward, and I'm going through those same choices again. And this is maybe redundant, but I'm not going to accept their discard. I'm going to make it alternate because um, I will have, I want to be able to go back to that source and see what I recorded. Now, if I remember correctly, Nancy's not in my database, so I'm going to add Nancy to the same household. And because this is, she was new, let me just go back. Since she is new, I don't have any choices to make except that's her parents. Next is Philip R. I have Ray, Roy Phillip, and I know that this is the same person because when I go to the next screen, I'm going to make that an alternate. I'm going to make that alternate. Born about the same time. I have a little more information on this alternate fact. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make this June 1891 as preferred because that's a little clearer than the fact that I had before, but I'm still going to make it alternate because I want to see in these two sources that it was born about 1892. They are census records, so the census is going to give me the age. 1940, I was 1940, but I don't want to lose where he was in 1900, so I'm going to make it that as alternative again. And I know this has taken a long time, but I want to just reiterate that I'm going to ignore the offering of discard, and I'm certainly glad that they highlighted that fact in the information, and I'll put a link to the information about the patch. But I just want to point out that this is how I am handling this patch. They're making me do more mouse clicks, but I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with more mouse clicks because it's going to give me a better view in my database. And as I pointed out before, I have some conflicting information that that if I had accepted the default of discard, I probably would not recognize that I have conflicting information to deal with. So I'm now merging. I went through all of the whole household, and I'm merging that information into my database, and I will clean it up later. Again, my personal opinion about this feature that was added, I believe it is not helping us. I understand, however, that those users who get very confused about having the same fact named over and over, each providing a little bit different information, I can understand why that would be um, a problem. Now, I'm going to show you what that looks like. Just for grins and giggles here, you'll see at the top of the screen that I have seen his name written several different ways in various records. But if you go back to the records, you will see where I found that information. In other words, you'll see exactly what I saw. Now I'll be able to clean this one up where William is the same. It's a death record and the census record that I just brought in. I will clean that up. In fact, why don't I just do that? I'm going to select the 1900 census record, click this copy source citation. Oh, I hate that word, and go up to the first offering, new, paste link to source citation. So, and now I can get rid of that one. I right clicked on that fact and deleted the name fact, but the fact is that the two citations where I got William Hart are there. And if you were to go to either of those records, you would see William Hart. Those two records, you would see William Grayhart. You'll see a record. This was from one of his children where his father was born in Pennsylvania, but it didn't give me the name. It just said the father was born in Pennsylvania. William G. I can understand a new person seeing why are you putting all these different names. For me, it's because that's what's in the record. If you go back and look at my work, you will see where I got the information from. Here's the birth that I brought up before. Birth says July in Pennsylvania, about 1855, July 30th, 1857, Pennsylvania. I will have to clean this one up, and I will do the same thing. I'm going to copy that citation and paste it here. And because I did not resolve that place name, but I took care of it by moving the citation to here. So that's my spiel. That's my story. I'm going to stick with it. I just recommend that you look very carefully at the Webmerge screens and handle them the way you see fit. Um, I, if you want to see his name only one spelling in your database, so be it. Then you're going to discard the other stuff, which is now the default option. It's not my recommendation. My recommendation is, however, that you're very careful of those screens and you take each screen one at a time and make this determination that meets your needs. Thank you. Have a great day.